Previously on Relatively Productive.
We just got automations and already it's not enough.
Yeah, exactly. And then my goal is to start making goals.
It's literally, I'm always in my running gear and just ready to go for a run. It really works.
I'm just imagining you in your running gear right now.
Do we even have seasons? I don't know.
No, we don't.
We just have one
I don't think.
big flow of consciousness.
And we're back.
And now back to our regular scheduled programming.
I guess maybe we should try and explain why we took a break. I don't know. You can only do so much. And especially during all the lockdown and permanent work from home situations.
Yeah.
I think we both just needed some less screen time in general. And then we were almost going to bring it back, but it was really difficult scheduling. So for season 2 and onwards of the show, I think we're going to make some more sustainability changes.
Yep.
We're going to bring less topics to the table because we have a couple of segments already that sort of give us enough to talk about that's interesting in a way, because it's never just the segment. There's always some tech stuff and productivity stuff in there anyway. So I think if we do that and we have 1 or 2 sort of episode-based topics in there as well, I think it's more than enough.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's the official reason that we're going with. But the actual reason is we just needed a long enough break so that we can call this one season 2.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, otherwise it's just awkward calling it season 2 and you didn't have a break. I mean, come on. It's not how it works.
It's marketing. It's so basic.
Yeah, it's supply and demand, right? You have to wean people off a bit. Like, I mean, the podcast was getting so big.
Yeah,
we just had to pull back a bit, build up that little bit of hype again, and then just now we're back. Back, baby. We're back.
What else has happened recently that's interesting in my life? So in episode 17, I spoke about I've went all in on Coda.
Yes.
So I decided to pay for Coda and went all in on Coda. Since then, I've gone all in on Rome. So, yay.
Ooh, welcome to the Rome cult.
Yeah. I thought it would just be worthwhile mentioning that. I think it was probably about 3 months ago, I decided to create myself a pointless project called Project Think Tank, because, you got to have a cool name. And that was basically start using Rome every day, force myself to get into their, which I still find weird, daily notes system. But I've sort of found a way to make it work for me, because I really don't think daily notes work with my brain. So I more use the daily notes as sort of like a scratch pad area where I can just write anything on that day. And sometimes the content grows into its own page or note or whatever you want to call it, and then I'll just link that to the daily note. So like, for example, yesterday I looked into big O notation, so I made a couple of notes on that, and I thought, there's enough here, let me make a big O notation page, and then I just link that to the daily note of yesterday.
Yep.
So I can sort of see I got interested in that note on yesterday. But yeah, other than that, it's been fine. Now I'm in this weird dual world where some things go in Rome, but sort of more wiki-based knowledge and expense tracking and that kind of thing is still in Coda. It's fine. Can't have both.
I mean, it's not impossible to in Rome. It's just a bit awkward to do in Rome.
Yeah.
Especially the finance tracking and stuff.
Been doing that a lot because one of my lockdown hobbies has unfortunately been getting into custom mechanical keyboards. So there's quite a few purchases and tracking and...
yeah, that'll destroy your savings.
Oh, what savings? I don't have that anymore. Those are gone.
All into the custom keycaps.
Oh, yeah. It's great. It's fine. I don't want to talk about it. No one listening to this should Google it, because I feel like you're all very at risk. So just don't. just don't, okay? Just don't.
If you listen to this podcast, stay away from mechanical keyboards.
High probability of going broke very soon.
Sorry, I forgot to start my timer. Let me just do that.
Oh, yeah. It's been a while since I started that timer. I'm glad to see it still works.
Yeah. Time tracking.
Are you still time tracking?
I am, yes.
I think last time we spoke, you said you stopped tracking all time?
No. I was thinking about potentially stopping for a while just to give my brain a break.
Oh, okay.
And I'm probably gonna do it over this December. So tomorrow is my last day on current contract, and then I'm on leave for a month. Got a few company stuff to. Oh man, a lot has happened.
Yeah, the listeners don't even know about that.
To get into everything, like we should do this more regularly.
Imagine a world.
But I mean, since we last spoke. Okay, hold up. This is going to get all over the place. I don't want this to be an editing nightmare. How are we going to transition into this again later? Rome. Let me first cover where I'm at with Rome, and then I'll cover recent events and the company part and time tracking break. Ooh, I need to make notes. Hold up. Let's see if we can pull all these threads together again. Just give me a sec here.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, I still use Rome heavily. Everything goes into Rome. The daily notes thing clicks with my brain quite well.
I'm jealous.
Just because it's become I think we've covered this in a previous episode, shelling point, so focal point.
Yeah.
I've made Rome daily page my focal point. So if I don't know where to put something, I put it there, and then I figure it out from there. So it's like my first go-to. So you know what, I'm not quite sure I want to take note of this fleeting thing that I'm thinking of. I just put it there. And then if I have time to expand on it, I'll expand on it, and then I'll make it its own page if it's big enough, similar to what you do. Otherwise, I just tag it with stuff. And then I try to think about what would future me type into Rome to find this again. And then I tag it with that. The other thing that I really used heavily lately is I can segue. So the other thing I've been using it heavily for lately is with our hiring right now. So since the last time we recorded, we've hired 3 new employees.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, so the company is growing. So it's been very useful for interviews. So I have a set list of questions for front-end developers and a set list of questions for back-end developers. So what I do is I've got a page for Rocket 200/interviews or interview questions, and then I add that to my daily page, and then I pull in children with reference.
Oh, yeah.
Because then it pulls in all of the questions that I want to ask as block references.
Yeah.
And then I write the answers that the people give underneath those references, and I make notes about the person there. That way, when I go to that question in the future, I can see, I've asked this question 10, 15, or whatever times.
Yeah, yeah.
And I can drill into the answers that each candidate gave.
That's cool.
So that's been useful. The other thing that has been useful for is the project that I'm working on currently, or the contract I was on. I was a team lead.
Yeah.
And I had a few devs reporting to me. So I had some one-on-ones that I had to do. So I also have a list for one-on-ones, doing some check-ins with them. What are they struggling with? What are their next actions? All of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Once again, set questions, pull in children as reference, and just run through the questions and answer them. It's been useful for daily stand-ups as well, keeping track of projects and blockers and all that kind of stuff. So it's just like high level. I can, on all of my projects, just kind of click on the project, go to meetings, go to stand-up, or filter on those if I need to, and kind of drill down into things if I need to. So it's kind of, that's what the daily page is kind of useful for in my mind.
That makes sense.
And that's also how look at this, man. I'm going to segue again. So with the daily thing really clicking with my mind, that tied me back into my time tracking as well. And we briefly talked about this a while ago, where I think you gave me the source code for your time tracker that you build in Electron.
Yeah.
So I started messing around with that. I had to put it on pause because work got really hectic, but I'm planning on getting back to that again soon. So I want to merge my time tracking in the daily page, and I want to actually have a running timer, because sometimes I'm working on something and I'll have a thought. I just want to log it under the current running timer so that I know kind of what I was busy with when I had the other thought, because that contextual information is also useful because it's reproducible if needed. What music was I listening to, because I know that from my last FM. what project was I working on, or who was I spending time with, what's the context around it.
Yeah.
I can literally recreate that exact scene again if I needed to get into that same mind space. So that's kind of, I'm not doing that right now, but I mean, that's useful information to be able to recreate a state of mind.
Yeah, it can be very valuable.
Could be useful. It's kind of an experiment. It's something I want to explore. I don't know if it'll be useful. I don't know what it's going to be like right now.
Could be a cool experiment.
Yeah, so I want to dig into that a bit. I want to flesh that out. So what I'm going to do is oh man, another segue, but I guess this is kind of natural because that's how my train of thought went.
Yeah.
I saw this tweet the other day by Andy Matushak. I do not know how to pronounce his surname.
I don't know.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So Andy wrote this tweet the other day where he said, I've noticed that consciousness recedes when I'm deep in a coding phase, many back-to-back days in flow. My mind narrows to tunnel vision, fixated on the software and its issues. My sense of self shrinks, non-code ideas cease to arise. I get less curious, writing yields little.
Yeah, 100%. I've noticed the same thing.
Over the last few months where I've been hectic in this flow of just code and output driven, I've stopped having creative ideas. I've stopped tinkering on side projects. I've stopped just being emotionally available to the people that need me in my life. I've receded completely. And that's kind of scary.
It really is.
And so what I've been thinking is for December to actually do like a no-code December, but not like no-code. Actually, don't write any code.
Daniel's going off of software development.
Yeah, so I was thinking for December, I'm not allowed to write any code. I can write like written text. I can maybe experiment with some CSS because technically I don't really see CSS as code. It's more of creative.
Oh, here comes the hate mail.
No, but I mean, I haven't quite thought that through. I don't know. That's actually interesting. Challenge me on that one. Do you see CSS as hard code?
I saw some sort of hacky function the other day to round numbers in CSS, and that was straight up code.
Okay, yes. But if you're just doing some UI experiments where you're doing rounded corners and...
I guess when I start doing animations, it starts to feel more codey.
Yeah, there's definitely a line to be drawn.
Yeah.
I feel the same. It's like, but I think the way that I'm thinking of it is just some visual experiments, so not like UX experiments.
Yeah. I think it's definitely much more difficult for me to get into a flow state when I'm doing CSS
I
stuff.
feel the same. It's like it's more creative because there's a visual aspect to it.
Yeah, definitely.
With backend code, there's not really any visual. It's all abstract and in your mind, I guess.
Yeah.
And for the last, what's it now, 6 months or 7 months, I haven't done anything visual really. It's all been backend code.
Okay, yeah, then you definitely need to, I think that's allowed in your experiment, some front end fun.
But I'm also thinking now CSS is kind of a gateway drug. I won't be able to stop myself from going into code. So maybe I should just put a blanket ban on CSS and code and everything.
You can always use some like InVision or something if you really want to do front end experimentation.
Or what's it, on my iPad. I do all my design stuff on iPad still.
Oh, okay. I haven't actually done that in a while.
I use Infinity and what's the other one called? Canvas, right?
Concepts,
yes. Concepts and Affinity Design. Those are my two go-to still.
I still do like Concepts. And I did use Affinity the other day for the icons and stuff I've been doing for my blog. So I guess I did do something.
There's 2 new apps on my iPad that I've been checking out, which have potential as not a Rome replacement, but like a Rome, I don't know. Part of December is going to be figuring out the place for one of these apps. I'm probably not going to use both. I'm going to settle on one of them. Both have things that I like, but they kind of operate in the same space in different ways. So the one's called Muse.
Okay.
Don't know if you've used that before.
No, never heard of it.
And the other one's called Walling.
Never heard of it either. And we're back to Relatively Productive.
So Muse, I think you will love because the pencil and hand interaction design, it is so good.
Yeah.
Swipe in from the right side screen to from the left of the screen to the right to start writing in the card. You can write next to anything.
That does sound like me.
Yeah, go look at the Muse app website and check out the tutorial videos, and I promise you're gonna think, wow, that's amazing. I think Muse will get the Jacob stamp of approval, just in terms of minimalism and user experience.
Okay.
The UX design is really good. Walling, now that I'm talking about it and thinking through it, Walling is actually just, I think, a more visual Roam.
Okay.
With less of the power features. So I'm probably not going to use it. But there's some aspects of it that I admire that I want to just kind of dig into and make notes of it and kind of file it away.
Yeah.
Because it'll maybe be useful for something I build in the future.
Of course, yeah.
Or maybe something to revisit again in the future, I guess. But I feel like we've gone onto like a side tangent here. Yeah, December. I've decided now. CSS is out as well.
Oh,
no code.
Okay, no code.
No code for December. I think it's official.
Yeah. I get it. I get the feeling. We can do Health Club.
Yeah. Well, Health Club we can do. So we had the DJ run.
Yes, which listeners might remember from previous year's episode.
Yeah, that's the run until I can't anymore. So just a quick recap. My co-founder, his brother committed suicide about 4 years ago now. So then this movement started out of that. Two of his friends one year decided they're going to run the age that he would have been that year, and that was, can't remember which year that was, but it would have been 28.
Yeah.
And so we did last year we did 30 kilometers, and this year we did 31 kilometers now. But because of COVID and stuff, we spread it over 3 days, and we made it a virtual run.
I really like that idea. I think it's really cool.
So everyone we had people running, like joining from America and Germany and Australia and South Africa, obviously, and Netherlands and everywhere. So pretty cool seeing everyone just join in from everywhere and logging their times.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm actually checking the stats now where we're at. We did 1,053 kilometers collectively.
That's crazy.
In 143 hours and 59 minutes with 53 participants.
Nice. Well done. I think it's going really well.
Yeah. So that was, some of it was partly running and partly cycling for me personally. So I did 37 kilometers. My wife did 22 kilometers.
Nice.
And our daughter did 5 kilometers.
Oh, I'm on par with your daughter. That's sad for me. I should go running more right now.
Well, to be fair, I did let you know about it a little bit too.
Yeah. Next year, I will definitely join in more effort than a lazy 5K.
Yeah, we're gonna see if we can ramp it up next year, get more people involved. We're thinking about ways to not just do it 1 month in a year, but extend it through the whole year. So we do smaller things every month, and then we have the big event in November, which is like a crazy goal.
Yeah.
So this weekend, the goal was 1,000 kilometers. So yeah, we'll see. And then next year, the plan is to ship T-shirts globally.
Oh, nice.
So this year we only ship T-shirts locally in South Africa. So next year we're going to print shirts and get one of those fancy shipping companies to actually ship shirts globally.
You have a website for it now, right?
Yeah, we have a website for it.
Yeah, okay. We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll put the website in the show notes. It's called Watch Me Rise.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. That's Health Club right now. So I guess we started a movement around it so I can be more active. It's all about that accountability, man.
Gotta do it.
So how's it been going on your side?
Yeah, it's been not as intense. It's been okay. I've been doing 5K runs like once or twice a week and cycling a lot. So I'm not unfit, but I'm not crazy fit. So I've sort of been maintaining, which I'm quite happy about actually. So it's winter now here, so it's freezing in the mornings. Difficult to go run, but keep at it.
Well, healthy body, healthy mind.
Exactly. Do you remember in the previous episode you started the Maker Club?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm still tinkering away on Rome Dark. So something interesting happened where there's like a subsection of my theme which is called Masonry,
Okay.
which I styled with CSS. So what it is when you shift click a link in Rome, it opens in the right sidebar.
Oh, yeah.
Now the normal behavior is that they stack on top of each other, your pages or whatever that you open.
Yeah.
So I have a CSS adjustment, improvement, hack, I don't know what to call it, that lines them up horizontally. And you can do shift scroll to scroll through them sideways.
Ah, interesting.
And they have a resize. So I can resize them, and they stack masonry style.
I don't know what that means, but...
So in CSS, you get masonry grids where things fill their available space.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Based on their size.
Yeah.
So it's one of those masonry grids. So that masonry mode has like a kind of a following with a few people within the Rome community. So,
of course. Yeah, that's how Rome works.
Yeah. So I've got this handful of people that I support this for. So every time CSS, like Rome makes CSS changes, it breaks, I need to fix it. So I've been keeping this updated.
Ah, well, that's good.
This is also partly why I didn't want to put a blanket freeze on CSS for December, because I'm working on a rework of that to get version 2 out of this, because there's a few things that are still broken with the last CSS patch that Rome put out.
Okay.
That I need to fix. And there's people kind of waiting for that. So I might kind of break my rule just to do that bit, just so I can...
Yeah, got to keep the sub-cult happy.
Yeah. And obviously I use it as well. And it's going to just frustrate me when I'm using Rome and it's not working properly. So I'll probably just spend some time just to get that right. So that's kind of, I guess, Maker Club. I've been keeping that maintained.
Nice.
But otherwise that's pretty much me for Maker Club. Obviously, I always have side projects and everything I need to get to.
Yeah, of course.
What do you have for Maker Club?
Let me see. Last time we spoke, I think I was still in the code freeze, sort of. That's been lifted, so I had to keep myself busy for a bit, and I really wanted to work on some stuff again.
I remember the Crazy Man CPU, which you cut from the previous episode, and you just kept this is so nerdy notes.
Exactly.
But anyway, sorry, continue.
Yeah, that still hasn't been properly released because I still haven't finished it, but that's fine. So the one thing that using Rome made me realize is I've got a lot of projects and it's really difficult to keep track of where they are and what status they're in. So I built a site to keep track of them all. And also, more importantly, it gives me a place to sort of link to if people ask about them.
A project to manage your projects. I mean, that's sensible.
A project to manage projects. That's such a relatively productive thing to do.
It's meta.
So yeah, it's just on my website. It's projects.jcpretorius.com. And the nice thing about that also is it feeds into my yearly goal of notice. So part of that, if you can remember, was me promoting the work I do and my friends do more. So it's really difficult to promote the work you do if there's nowhere to really link it. So one of them, the one we spoke about in the last episode, the vanilla timeline for Twitter, that I launched on Product Hunt, and it actually went really well. It's got a couple of 100 daily users, so people are actually using it, and I'm getting feedback from them and feature requests. And now and again, I work on it when I find the inspiration. So yeah, it's been going well, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, actually, I put a paidpal.me link or whatever on my Rome doc theme, and I've made like $15 from it, actually.
Aha, coffee.
Yeah, people actually like paying me for it, which is great. That's also partly why I keep maintaining it, because there's actually people that felt like this is useful enough to just throw some cash my way. So that's right.
I don't have anything for Observation Club, or at least nothing meaningful. The only thing I wrote in my notes is do more stretches, because I've been really bad at stretches.
Okay.
And I'm sure most people are, because stretches suck.
I'll take that. Yeah, I need to send you this thing I saw today. It's so on point.
Where am I looking? There's like a million places we're talking at the same time.
Well, let me just send it everywhere. No, yeah. There, just pick your poison, man. I'm sending it everywhere.
I see it. Oh yeah, I saw this. Developers, my back hurts, my whole body aches. Also developers when they work. And then it's like a guy super reclining with one leg higher than his chair on the desk. It's so painful because I used to sit like that for the longest time. before I got a decent chair, I had one that could recline way too much, and I would do that as far as it would go, and I would rest both legs on the side of the table, and sort of. If I look at that now, I'm like, oh man, it's not great.
Yeah, stretch more. That's definitely something I need to do. Put it in. What's it? In due, another notification I can ignore every day.
Yeah. I'm getting the Watch OS stand notifications, and then I can just go, no, I'm in a meeting. No, I'm in a meeting. No, I'm in a meeting.
And actually, the other day, I realized I do this, but the other day, my wife she set a reminder for herself to exercise, and then I caught her dismissing the reminder and not exercising, and I told her, you should be careful because you're building a habit of dismissing the exercise. So all you're doing is making yourself okay with not doing the exercise and dismissing, building up kind of regret and bad feelings because you feel bad every time you dismiss it.
Yeah.
And then that gets like a vicious reinforcement loop where you just keep doing it. And then as I'm telling her that, I realized I do that too.
Exactly.
And then I immediately went to do and I deleted all of those reminders I kept postponing.
Yeah.
Those ones that just keep kicking to tomorrow. I'm just like, okay, well, I'm never going to get to this. So just delete it. If it's important enough, I'll add it again. But this building a habit on just postponing it all the time is not good.
It's not the way to do it, unfortunately.